Hello, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, a 3D character artist with almost 2 decades of experience, and a mentor, a big professional that worked on such huge projects like the Callisto Protocol, Ghost of Tsushima, Call of Duty, and many more. Siamak Roshani. Hello, Siamak.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for accepting my invitation.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah, by the way, you are my first foreign guest on my channel, and I'm really
Oh,
excited.
okay.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
I've been following your channel since 2020 and watched
Uh-huh.
all of your
When I
videos,
started, yeah,
and they were super useful. Wanted to thank you for that as
of
well.
course.
All your tutorials, podcasts. Yeah, first question is uh, the question I'm asking everyone. Could you please tell us about your education, how you became a part of CG industry, and your path till these days?
Um, that's a long story. So I started, basically it happened by chance. I bought a computer when I was 15 years old. This is 24, 25 years ago. And back in Iran, when they would sell you a computer at the time, there was all kinds of like softwares cracked. Nobody cared. and uh and I saw 3D Studio Max on that, and I opened it. I didn't know what it is, and I started just playing with it. I don't At this time I'm just learning how to use a computer. It's pretty new, right? This is 2000 actually, 1999,
Okay.
2000. And just dragging stuff, and I saw it's making shapes, boxes, teapots and things like that, and I was like, what? This is weird. You can make a stuff and it looks 3D. You can turn around it. And yeah, that's when I was like, I started to just exploring and then playing with it as I, you know, was just learning how to use a computer. And because I was playing a lot of games back in the day, I realized they're actually making games with 3D Studio Max. And then later, a friend of mine told me about Maya. At the time, Elias was making Maya. And then I went into Maya. Then I took it seriously. I started learning as much as I could, modeling and stuff. And there was no character artist back then. You were just a 3D modeler, 3D animator, rigger, things like
Hmm.
that. And I had some background in drawing as a child. It wasn't my thing. I was mostly into sports and football and um, table tennis, basically ping pong, swimming, things like that. And then computer and playing games changed my destiny. I wanted to become a football player. In the US, they call it soccer, but I call it football because it's football.
Hmm. It's true.
So that was the trigger. And with the 3D softwares, and I had some background in drawing. When I was drawing, I would even draw football players when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. So you can
Mhm.
see like I had both kind of some art and then my passion for sports and football. And from there, I a friend of mine actually, I remember that day I called him and I was like, hey, what are you doing? Just chatting. There was no, Yahoo Messenger. It was the Yahoo Messenger, but there was no like WhatsApp or anything like that, or Facebook
Mhm.
or anything to communicate
Yeah.
quickly at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever he wasn't online, we were close friends talking about CG stuff. And one day he told me, oh, have you seen this software? It's called ZBrush. You can just make anything quickly without even worrying about topology and geometry. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And that's when I found ZBrush. That was the early version of ZBrush, like ZBrush 2, something like that. And I got into that and I started playing with it. And fast forward, I ended up moving out of Iran back in the day and took off from there.
Mhm.
And I'm here now talking to you.
That is cool. So, uh, what happened like after Iran? You moved to the United States, right?
I moved out of Iran. Longest story short, I moved to many different places, and then in 2014, I moved to US.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah, I moved a couple of places. I just tried to. figure out where do I want to go. Worked it
Mhm.
for a couple of VFX companies, commercials, things like that. And then basically, I was dragged into character art more seriously, and I started learning anatomy. I started learning anatomy actually back in 2007, 2006, when I started using ZBrush. That's when I was like, I need to learn how to use ZBrush to sculpt human anatomy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And my plan changed at the time when ZBrush came out, right? Because I didn't have to worry about topology. I could just make models in ZBrush by my tablet, with this
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
basically, and make whatever I want. And
Mhm.
then 2014, I moved to US. It was a big move. And then 2015, I worked for Ubisoft. Unfortunately, they closed just a few weeks ago. That branch in San
Mm.
Francisco. 2016, I worked at the Sledgehammer Games. 2017 until 19, I worked at Ghost of Tsushima basically on Ghost of Tsushima at Sucker Punch, Sony. 2019 until end of 2019 until 2020, let's say, until March 2023, I worked for um, Striking Distance on Callisto Protocol. Unfortunately, the game wasn't successful, which is sad because some people really liked it, some didn't. You know, pandemic
I
had a big
personally liked
impact.
it.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think I think it could be better, but I mean, the problem was pandemic kind of hit everybody at the time, and it's kind of sad because that was my favorite studio, really. Like,
Mhm.
not to say it was perfect, it wasn't perfect, but yeah, I mean, now they made actually another game. I think now it's kind of like a smaller game, not the same team.
Mm.
It's kind of different, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going on
Mhm.
there anymore. Almost two
Mhm.
years now.
I see.
Then I worked for a couple of other studios, and that's it. Right now, I don't work for anybody. I'm just taking time off,
Mm. That's
focusing
cool.
on
Yeah.
sports, workout.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about sports later because,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, I've seen your videos in the gym. Looks cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and wanted to ask you how to find a first job in the United States as a like someone from another country. For me, it's like a quite a challenge.
You don't look for a job, dude. It's kind of like a lottery, honestly.
Mm,
I I mean, everybody's giving you advice, but nobody's talking about the power of chance. How lucky you can be to be at the right place at the right time.
mm-hmm,
I think for me, part of it was that because I started pretty early, and there weren't many artists out there like it is now. It's different at this time, and production was harder. Not necessarily harder, but more limitations on characters, um, and you had to know a lot of things to. You need to do basically you need to know more stuff right now in some ways, but back in the day, all the limitations would make you learn more stuff, right? There weren't
mm-hmm,
many studios, um, and as a character artist, they would ask you to do everything. So, I mean, I guess for me was a lot of doing a lot of things, character modeling, texturing, topology, high res, low res, and then I was lucky that the studio that I spoke to at the time wanted to hire me, and I ended up here.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it all depended on one conversation. Of like, if that conversation didn't happen, maybe I wouldn't be here now.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
would change. And that conversation happened at 2:30 a.m. my time when I
yeah.
spoke to the company. It
That's
was very
crazy.
random. I worked for them
That's
freelance a couple of times, and then I messaged them and I'm like, "Hey, I'm planning to move. Do you guys need anybody?" And the guy was like, "Hey, are you free now to chat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He called me right away.
that's crazy.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, amazing guy. I'm still in touch with him. He started a new studio now. I never forget
Mm-hmm.
that guy. You know,
That's cool. Yeah, and they say that luck likes the amount of attempts. The more attempts
you
you
should
make.
attempt, right? But then there is no guarantee. I think the goal to my priorities have changed now over the years,
Mm-hmm.
right? My goal was to move to a place where I can have my freedom, opportunity, uh, unlimited opportunities and growth, which is not like that anymore right now in some ways because of what's happening with the economy and the state of the world.
Mm-hmm.
After pandemic, they printed so much money, deficits going up. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the U.S. Basically spent 620 something $billion over the past 2 months over
That is
the
crazy.
2025 fiscal 2025 budget. So they're already on the path of spending 3.7 trillion over what they should have spent. Like that's a
Mm.
that's a deficit. So it's not good.
Yeah,
And with
yeah.
what's happening in the industry right now. But at the time, like I said, being at the right place at the right time, working. I was lucky that my work was going around, that I did something and people liked it. I was very fortunate for that, and I'm still thankful about it. When people saw my work and on ZBrush Central, I got
Mm-hmm.
the top role. They were kind enough to do that at the time. That had a big impact, like everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
A
Yeah.
lot of it is that, but I had to put an effort, right? When you do something, you don't know if it's going to happen or not. You just create the chances, the luck, right? If you don't buy a lottery ticket, you don't know if there's no way you can win. But if you
Mm-hmm.
buy one, then there is a chance you win, right? So
It is true.
I created that luck. I pushed it. I didn't give up. I can tell
Yeah.
you, like 10, 15, 20 times, I got rejected to move to other countries, basically.
Mm. Wow.
And I ended up in US, like the country of my dream back in, what was it, 2003, basically, which is like when I was 17, 18 years old. That's a long time ago, right? I was
Yeah.
imagining that I want to be in US and have a house here and have a life here and so on. And now I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
20 years
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
21 years later.
Yeah. What a story. You can write a book. Yeah. Well, also wanted to ask you, have you been a lead, a lead 3D character artist,
Yeah.
something like this? So uh, maybe I'm sure you had to deliver bad news to your subordinates, fire
Yes.
people, maybe being a psychologist. What challenges have you faced as a lead, not just a 3D character artist?
Um, a lot of challenges actually. As a lead, so it's different, right? I mean, I wanted to be a character artist, but then I reached a point that I wanted to grow more. I was like, I want to know how it is to be a lead because at the time my goal was like to go up, learn everything about the business, and make my own studio. I had a lot of dreams back in the day, like I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. And the reality is not what you can imagine when you imagine that I want to be a lead
Mhm.
or whatever the position is. I mean, there's a lot of challenges actually. Which one should I talk about? Because it can be
Like
a bit
working with
controversial
people.
as well, right? Some negative, some positive. It balances out. You get rewarded for the positive side, and you get punished for the negative side.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
when you're a lead, sometimes you have to play in some way, yeah, basically in the favor of the company in a way, right? You're gonna make the company happy, and that may not make your team members happy,
Mm, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I always tried to protect people in my team when I was a lead. I always gave them room to do stuff. Sometimes they didn't like me because I had to make certain decisions, and I know at the time if they didn't like me, it's because they thought I'm an asshole. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, it's just the reality is different. So there's a lot of politics involved. Right now, I would do it in a different way if I become a lead.
Hmm.
You know,
What would
or
you change?
it's hard to explain because you have to be in the moment to make decisions, right? As a
Hmm.
leader, You want to be someone who can make people excited about their work. But then the challenges on the other side, there are people forcing you to do a stuff in their own way, even though you know what you are doing is actually the right way to do it. So you have to convince a lot of people, hey, we have to do it this way. And your team wants, for example, you have people in your team that are like perfect at making high-res models or sculpt or textures or UVs or whatever, right? I always want to utilize their best talent.
Mm.
And I don't like to use people when they are just because they're a character artist. Um, I don't want them to sit there and do what they don't like to do, you know? And sometimes companies don't like that. Now it's actually changing a little bit. Depends on the studio. They're becoming more specialized. Some people just like to do texturing. Some people just like to do a sculpting, right? And I think that's the important part. That's a key factor to success. Use the best skill to get the best result. You know, use the right
Mhm.
person for the right skill. And sometimes it's hard to convince the upper managers, hey, we have to follow this way. If we don't have anybody who can make hair, they're like, oh, this character job, they have to do it. No, they don't
Mhm.
have to. Making a hair is kind of like a grooming job, right? You want to.
Yeah.
It's different. Making hire as a sculpt or designing characters is a different kind of um, profession, basically, different type of a skill set. Designing creatures, designing or making sculpting creatures and anatomy, or making armors, it's different. Making swords for a character is different, right? If you want to make a medieval type of sword or armor, you got to study how this armor is made, right? How can I expect someone in my team who never made that to sit there and do that, right? It requires a lot of
Mhm.
study, and those kind of pressure actually affects the team in some ways.
Mm.
Or sometimes they don't want to do something, and you're like, hey, we don't have any other option. You have to do it, and they're going to be like, oh, this is my lead is pushing me to do what I don't want to do. But then what can I do? It's not my game. It's not my
Of
project,
course.
right? It's whatever the company wants. So
Mhm.
so the position of a lead is like you're under pressure from both ends, and the biggest problem is you can help manage your team, but you cannot manage your manager. If your manager wants to do it in a certain way and they just push it for that, no matter what, even if you're right, you're out of luck. You have to figure out a way
Mhm.
to get through that politics. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, I've seen managers or people on the top giving orders, and if you say no, they don't like it. So you have to do it, and they're gonna fight you. Basically, they're gonna be upset. Instead of just, okay, you're the expert on this. What do we do?
Mhm.
Or you're the lead. Who do you think should work on it if you have the experience? If your manager is an animator, how can I expect to explain to an animator, hey, this is the pipeline we should do for a character art for the whole process? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but if
That
your
is.
if your leader or your manager or whoever is at the top, and you're the lead character artist, if they are basically um, someone who did characters or understands concepts or art direction, it's much much easier. Make sense?
Yeah.
There is that. When it comes to hiring and firing people, I never fired anyone, and there was one person in my team we had to let go, and that wasn't my decision. I'm not gonna say where, okay, because I did leadership jobs in multiple studios, and I didn't like that, and I didn't like it because that person had a lot of issues, and he couldn't perform well in the office. He had a lot of anger, and he,
Mm.
he had anger at me, at other people, and sometimes he was nice. You know, um, what can he do? If the person doesn't perform and everybody can see it, then there's no other way. You have to let it go.
Yeah.
We didn't
Mhm.
like, I never fired anybody. We usually, companies don't fire like that unless if you do something crazy. There's something called a PIP plan, performance improvement. or something like that. Um, so they give you that plan. Like this is the general thing that I'm saying. I'm not gonna explain where this was or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, sure, sure.
So I
Yeah.
mean, you give a chance to that person, which is the more human way, right? But to be honest with you, I don't think when companies decide to fire people, that's sometimes that's the way to go. And no matter what the person does, they will just get rid of him or her,
Yeah.
because they don't want to fire that person directly to become a legal issue,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So people may not know this, but not every studio. There's like studios who actually follow the law. They're really doing everything to help the person. I'm just saying, like as an example, this is one of the ways. So if you go on a PIP, you don't know if this is the end or if they really want to help you. If you ask them, hey, do you want to fire me? They're not gonna tell you yes, because that's gonna be a legal issue, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's interesting.
yeah, I mean,
Wow. Okay. And also wanted to ask you, so your journey is really impressive, Iran to the United States, and how to succeed and get promoted working in a Western game dev company. What skills are needed for it?
dude, that's hard, because the culture is a big problem. So when you move to US, your culture is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different. And if you're coming here with a big dream, there's a chance that you're gonna become like a rebel and not an obedient person, because you come here with a big dream and you want to achieve your big dream. But when you work for a corporation, they want you to just say yes, okay, I'll do it. That's
Mm-hmm.
mostly what it is. Which is not bad, and it's not good also, because if you don't have enough freedom, the corporation is the one that will suffer at the end. Because if you are a person who wants to grow and do better things, if what there's a lot of fight, right? I mean, there's a lot of battle in the studios that you have to fight back. And um, not everywhere, right? I'm just giving you like a both sides basically. I had both experiences that I had to fight and do it my way, or not. When I say my way, it's just what I knew. Like I found a solution for something, and they didn't want to listen, and I had to do it. And eventually, they were like, "Okay, let's try this," and we tried it, and it worked. You know, after like 3 months of failing on the other methods that the manager wanted. That was one example. Or another time, there was a place they were like, "Hey, we trust you. Do what you think you can do." And I didn't know, like, okay, that works. Great. Thank you. So there's both sides, right? I had both experiences. And unfortunately, this is the thing. Like when you work in the game industry, there's kind of a lottery thing. If you hit the right studio, I would say stay there for as long as you can, because there is a chance you're not going to repeat that experience again.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, yeah, of
Like
course.
especially if you end up with a manager who is an animator, or a manager who is just who was a technical artist and now suddenly he's an art director. You know what I mean? It's like it's like saying that, hey, I work on motorcycles, but if you have a fraud and it's broken, I will fix it for you. You shouldn't trust me on that. Even though they're
Mm-hmm.
both
Yeah,
engines and mechanic, but it's a different animal,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's interesting. And i- is it possible for someone not from the United States to become a lead? So your
Yeah, I became
example
a
shows
lead.
that.
Other people become elite. Like Raf, look at Raf, is an amazing
Yeah,
artist and a great art director, professional person. Uh, I'll say hi to him from here. Raf is
yeah,
great. So that's an
yeah.
example. But Raf he's different, right? I mean, if people put their goal to be like him, that's a mistake, because you're not going to be him. He has his own personality, his own experience, his own childhood, right? Everything is different. So he is a perfect match. Like whoever works with him, they're lucky, honestly.
Mm,
Um, but honestly, the biggest thing is culture, right? So when you come to US, you get hit with a culture shock. And the
mm-hmm.
problem is when you go to different studios, they don't understand your culture. So if you say something, they're gonna take it. Oh, this is bad. You said something bad. I'm
Mm,
like, in our culture, this is not bad, even though it's
yeah.
not anything bad, right? Or in our culture, it's like to be more friendly with your colleagues, but maybe it's not like that here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah.
people don't like it. Oh, this guy hugged me
Mm,
or
yes.
touched me. You know, like in Russia
Mm-hmm.
or Iran, or Now I'm different, right? I mean, now
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually, after 11 years of being here and 18 years of out of Iran, I transformed into I adapted this culture, right? I understand it now. But early on, it was hard to
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
how to connect with people.
That's interesting because I'll tell you my story. Well, I don't eat pork because of my religion.
Mm,
Also, I lived in China for 3 years, and Chinese people just love pork, and it's everywhere. And
yeah,
all the menus are in Chinese, and I had to be very careful with what I'm ordering. So, have you faced any cultural challenges after moving to the United States?
cultural challenges. Yeah, that's like basically the thing I mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Working in
like,
the office, right? I mean, work. I mean,
yeah,
uh,
maybe something else. I mean, not only about the job, but walking in the street, you have to do something
not
differently.
no, no, not really. I mean, obviously it's different, right? I mean, you have to follow the
Hmm.
law, and that's why I
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
here, because I wanted to live somewhere that actually is not lawless, has some law,
Hmm.
law and order.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
not bad, I think.
yeah,
It's great.
it's good actually. There is a
Yeah.
lot of freedom in US, um, but there's also law and order, so you have to be in that limit when you live in a
Hmm.
society and you have all of your freedom, right?
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
in the company, you cannot just call somebody a terrorist, which happened to me actually in one of the studios.
Oh,
Some
that's
random dude from
crazy.
another country was in this company, and then he was like, "Hey, what's up, Iranian terrorist?" So that's a culture issue, right? The
Okay.
guy didn't think that this is something you shouldn't say, even in Iran. You don't call somebody a terrorist.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah,
Okay. And also wanted to ask you about the toxic environment and toxic people, the toxicity of the team, maybe
there's a lot of that.
how to survive it if even though you cannot just quit, right? You have to somehow
No, I
deal with
think
it.
so. There are ways to do it, right? So in the past, I would get caught in the toxicity and uh, drag myself in it and get muddy, and kind of like get upset or hold grudge and whatever. But then over time, I realized the best way is to just ignore it and push it on the side.
Mm.
Like depends on the
Hmm.
toxicity, right? If somebody calls me terrorist, okay, no problem. I'm gonna call HR and you deal with HR, right?
Hmm.
If I'm a lead and somebody in my team is not doing his job or her job, then I have to figure out why not, you know. And if there is no good reason behind it, then I mean,
Yeah.
you have to report it basically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
The first step is to help the person, right? But if the person is not interested in the help, or if your manager is toxic and constantly wants to fight you, there is nothing you can really do about it, right?
Hmm.
Because people like that suffer from insecurities and selfishness. It's kind of a sociopath type of
Hmm.
behavior. Like you want to just kind of have the dominant, be the alpha in the team. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
you're the lead, but look, I'm your manager. You're not above me. Whatever, you know, stuff like that. You can find you cannot fix a person like that, right? So um depends on the situation. You can obviously find a way to get around it. Or there are other toxicities. Like there was a studio that we hired a very good character artist, and he was supposed to make heads, human head, right, for the project. When they hired him, he never did fabric or cloth or boots or things like that. They hired him specifically to work on faces because he was very
Yeah.
good at it. And then they started giving him Marvelous Designer. He never used Marvelous Designer, and I started helping this guy. And then one time, one of the managers called me and said, "We hired this guy, but he can't do the job." I said, "Why did you hire him? Didn't you hire him to work on like human faces?" And they're like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, he's specialized in that, and now you're asking him to work on Marvelous Designer. He never touched this software. What do you expect him?" right? It's like asking him to
Mm-hmm.
write C++ scripts. You can't do that if you're not if you haven't done it before. And there was like, but he's a character artist. I'm like, no, he's not. He's a facial artist, and that's what you guys had for the job interview. That's toxicity, right? It turned into a fight, and
Mm-hmm.
he left eventually, like 2 weeks after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of thing is, um, or if your manager, like I said, like if your manager is trying to fight with you and show dominance and stuff like that, there's not much you can do about that. If two personalities conflict, what can you do about it?
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, there is a lot of that. Like, it's not just our industry, right? It's everywhere because people grow up in different ways, and as they grow up, their childhood never leaves them. And I
That's
think,
interesting. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because most people don't understand this. They don't know themselves, right? They don't even know themselves. They don't even know the reason behind it. And I had situations like this that I was doing the right thing, and I wasn't the only one saying it. Other people were telling me, "Hey, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Just doing this to you? I don't understand. He's gaslighting you. I heard that he said this and that." And at the time, I didn't know what to do. But actually, there's a book. Let me show you this one.
Mm-hmm. Power.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't finish it myself yet, but I think people should read this one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Power by whom?
I bought this, and then I was reading the Power
Okay.
by Robert Greene. So this
Wow.
goes over like what you need to do. You know, never outshine the master. That's one of the things the book says, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, like if your manager is never outshine the master, that's actually the first one. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies, right? Conceal your
That's cool.
intentions. Always say less than necessary. Things like that, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
Um,
Very wise.
yeah, the book is actually pretty awesome.
Gotta
So I
check
mean,
it.
there's toxicity, but I mean, most of the time it gets resolved. Like it's not like too bad, right? I mean, it's not. It's not. I mean, I worked with many studios. Maybe I had like 3 different experiences that were not solvable. You know what I mean? And then it got to
Mm-hmm.
a point that when you gain more experience, you learn how it is. And one of the jobs that I got, it was a contract job. I canceled it because I immediately saw personalities in the guy that was ordering the job that I realized there's no way I can work with this guy. Not that I couldn't work; the work was perfect and I could do it. But then I saw this guy has issues and he doesn't understand it himself, and he had full control. And I canceled it 2 weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else took over. He left. Somebody else took over. He left. So I wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
you can get some cues from people when you talk to them, right? So somebody might see me and be like, I cannot work with this guy. I mean, everybody's different, but somebody else might be like, yeah, I'm a perfect match. We can work together. You know, like one of the art directors that I used to work with, everybody hated him because he was super hard on the project and feedback and stuff. I never had any issues with him. So funny. Like I never had any and if I wanted to get feedback, he would be like, hey, what do you need? I'm like, hey, feedback. This guy, he said, okay, you just give him the feedback. I trust you. I'm like, what the hell? Everybody's telling me this guy wants to control everybody, but now he doesn't want to control me. Why? Right? Because the culture was a match. Like I just we just connected. You know what I mean? Some of the things is out of your hand. Like if your manager doesn't connect with you, you're doomed. But if
Mm-hmm.
he connects with you, you just connect with the guy. You know.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
also
mean,
kind of lottery.
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, another example. I worked with Glock on Callisto Protocol. I never had any issues with him. Zero. Like the easiest person to work with. You know, he was my manager at Callisto Protocol. Basically, I was a consultant contractor artist at the time. So I mean, nobody has issues with him. I think I don't know. Like I never had any issues
Mm-hmm.
with him. Easy to work with. But then
Mm-hmm.
if you ask, some other people that I manage, some of them will say they didn't have any issue with me. Some of them will say, "Oh, it was hard when
Yeah.
he was the lead." He gave
Mm-hmm.
us,
Yeah. I see.
But then intention is not that, right? I never wanted to hurt people. I never wanted to make it hard for people, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
might be the
Maybe.
same for
Mhm.
many managers. Maybe they don't want to do that. It's just like the you over time, as I grew, as I get older, I just see different perspective, different aspects of life, and what happens in people's um, when they're older, like 40 years old, 35, whatever. It's basically um, the result of what happened to them as a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
if
do.
somebody's getting depressed or constantly depressed, it's not because that person is depressed now. There's some underlying issues. If somebody is insecure as a manager and is constantly worried about, am I getting replaced by this guy? He's better than me. Maybe I have to put him in his place. It's probably because he had some issues at a school. The team, he was part of a team member at a school, when he was like 8, 10, whatever. And then he wasn't doing a good job and other team members were shining. So maybe that's why he didn't get a good score at a school, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he never became a leader at the team at the school. So now he's worried about, oh, what if this guy is better than me now? I'm going to lose my position here.
Yeah. Yeah. He
So,
brings his own inner demons,
yeah,
right?
the thing that I don't understand why studios are not investing in it. Studios invest a lot of money in attorneys and drafting contracts or yearly reviews for their employees to basically they're saying like, oh, these reviews have nothing to do with, it's just performance review. But then it can be used, I'm not saying anybody does it, but it can really be used as a legal thing, right? If somebody complains, they have this form of review that they already did it and the employees sign and whatnot, right? They're investing so much money in stuff like this. Legal thing in US is a big thing. Like if you're an attorney, you make so much money because there's a lot of contracts and
Mm-hmm.
paperwork and legal stuff. But I think one thing I haven't seen anybody invest in is to have an actual like couple of things, like like a personal trainer at the office to help people work out, because that's important. And the
Mm-hmm.
second
That's
thing
cool.
is
Yeah.
having a mental support, like someone, like some sort of consult, like therapist or psychologist in the office to like as a doctor, actually, right? Like to be a part of the job, but then talk to people when there is an issue, instead of like if somebody in my team is upset or tired or exhausted and I'm like, he's not performing, but maybe he cannot talk to me about his personal problems, right? And then I get this grudge, is not delivering the job, I need to my manager is forcing me, right? It turns into this soup of like toxicity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
if you have like a therapist or a real psychologist in the office, maybe this person can go to the office and be like, hey, I have this issue, I can't talk to anybody, what do I do? You help people, right? You fix them as they go, especially our job, because it's very stressful,
Mm-hmm. Of
and
course.
nobody's doing it. I'm like, why not? Like, how much does it cost? $300,000. I mean, imagine how it's going to change your studio if you invest money, some type of money. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe I'm just saying some bullshit right
I don't know.
now.
I like it. I personally like this idea. Yeah.
But if they can
Sounds
hire
good.
accountant and lawyers and HR and all those kind of things, I don't think it's impossible to hire a doctor, right? Like
Of
a
course. Yeah.
psychologist who understands human mind and what people go through. So you know,
Yeah.
honestly, there's a lot of ego in our industry. I wish it wasn't like that. It's the truth, really. Maybe I observed it the wrong way, but I'm seeing it everywhere. There's a lot of ego there, and I think part of it is
Mm-hmm.
because this industry helps people to shine using softwares and stuff, making characters, games, and so on. Without, like, when you use ZBrush to make a character, you don't really spend money on anything except that software, right? But if you're a woodworker or sculpting with marble, you have to pay money, thousands of dollars, to buy machines and stuff to be able to make those, right? Our career is actually much easier. You get to do stuff without spending much money, except your computer,
Mm-hmm.
and you just buy something for 3, 4, $5,000 now, the best whatever you can. It's gonna last you for 3, 4 years. You can do a lot with it, right? So and people get somewhere, they get located to other places, their work is shown in games, they get credits and things like that. So it creates a lot of ego. And some ego is good, but I think at a certain point it's toxic, because when you work in an environment and you think you're better than others, I mean, there's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
constant conflict.
hmm It's like it's is it easy to stay humble in this industry,
It's not
or
easy.
not easy?
Yeah, it's not easy.
That's
And
a great point. Yeah, I also wanted to talk about the industry. What's the state of the industry in the West now? They say there is a crisis, lots of people
not
lost
good
their
right now.
jobs.
Not good.
hmm Yeah, especially in 2024, thousands of people lost their jobs.
Yeah, about 15% of the whole industry. And I think hopefully this doesn't happen, but it's kind of unfortunate that I'm going to say it, but seems like Ubisoft is in trouble, right?
Yeah, I've heard.
Um yeah, Ubisoft is in trouble. Unfortunately, they closed the branch that I worked in the past. And but the reason behind it, it's actually very simple. There are multiple factors, I think. One is pandemic. They printed so much money, and money was pouring from the sky. Everybody was getting rich, right? And everybody suddenly had this idea: I want to make a game. It's pandemic. I'm a genius. I have this story. Okay, let's make a game. Oh, look at this. What was the game? Fortnite. Sorry about that. Yeah,
Okay. hmm
yeah. Fortnite. Fortnite was successful, right? The thing about Fortnite is that was one in a million chance to like to be successful at that, and they already made that, right? If you do what I did in life, I guarantee you're gonna fail. Some people say you're gonna win, but no, you're not gonna win, because what I did was what I did back in the day at that time and made me successful, right? You can't replicate sometimes you can, but in cases like this, right? um Fortnite is already made, and they're already making stuff, and it's already working and upgrading the game, and people has its own fan base and customers. They're coming back buying us stuff, and the game is going on, right? S- because other companies saw that Fortnite is successful during the pandemic, there was so much money, everybody wanted to make Fortnite. So they started making all of these um live games, and almost every one of them failed. Concord is an example. That there's more games coming. I guarantee they're going to fail next year. Remember what I said. And
hmm
that's one thing. And then what happened is, after printing so much money and investors investing in the game industry and so on, and imagine like you're a venture capitalist, you don't know much about games, you're not a gamer, right? I mean, they do the research, your background, who are you, and where do you get the game idea and so on. But if you're not an expert, it's likely that you're going to make a mistake, right? And then somebody comes and says, "Hey, I want to make a game. Give me this money. This is the idea. This is the game idea that I have." They give them a pitch, and everything, the whole idea about the game, and they're like, "Oh, we like it." There's no demo. They never did anything. They never made a game alone, and they got funded like $100 million. No problem. We have money. Take it, right? And the game failed. So what do you think that venture capitalist is going to do? They're not going to
They
invest
will
money
not.
in games anymore, right?
Of course.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's gone. Um, and there's a lot of that. There is, uh, you know, studios insist to work on ideas that people don't want, and they're specifically saying we don't want to play this kind of game. Go make this game or that game. They just get ignored and ignored, and they just don't spend money anymore. What's going to happen? Nobody's going to buy games, right? That's another thing. The other factor, there's like multiple factors. It's not just one thing. During the pandemic, social media picked up really by a lot, right?
hmm
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and so on. Everybody started making stuff. I did YouTube myself, right? So imagine what those shorts will do to a human brain. You want a quick gratification, dopamine rush, like this, right?
It's true, yeah.
So you just scroll on Instagram or TikTok instead of spending $70 on a game, $80 on a game, and then another $20, $30 on DLC and skins and whatnot and microtransactions. And you have to play that game for weeks to get the real satisfaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the satisfaction on Instagram, just scrolling. Every 2 minutes you see some, every 30 seconds you see a video, something different, right? So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't want to spend the same time like you did in the past to play games because you're already getting that dopamine rush. Another factor I think is because people that were my age, we were the ones actually boosted this industry. Because when I started playing games, it was 1990, right? This is 5 years after I was born in 1985. 1983, game industry crashed 90%, almost wiped out completely. And then Nintendo brought it back to life. And then Sony started pushing it to the next level, PlayStation, right? 1992, 93, I was playing games. 2000, or was it 98? I was playing PS1 and then PS2, and then I bought a PC. So we were the generation of gamers. And then at the time, to make games fun, there was no live, right? There was no online gameplay. So you couldn't play online. They had to, because there was no high poly stuff, graphics were really bad. The only option they had was to make animation really nice or make the story of the game, the gameplay, the fun factor was the thing to attract people to play games, right? All of those changed. And people that are
Mm-hmm.
my age, we don't have much time to I haven't played a game for a year now or more because I have a child and I have to, do other things, make money, go to gym. I don't get the same time I had in the past to play games. And this is going to happen more and more. And the new generation, they're actually playing other types of games, right? And imagine with all the things happened during the pandemic, no good games coming out. So it's causing the industry to go through
Mm-hmm.
this motion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no one really knows what's going to happen. I saw a video of NVIDIA CS 2025, and they came up with some really amazing technology, AI integrated into their graphics card and all the things they do, which I think is going to boost in some ways because there are no limitations. There are going to be less limitations, right? When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to making characters, environments, visual effects, things like that. You focus more on the fun factor, graphics. If studios take advantage of this, and then another issue was that games never became more expensive. It's been the same price forever: $50, $60, $70, right? That's the base
Mm.
price. But then the development of games, it's harder and harder, and it costs more, like 200 million, 300 million. That's a lot of money to spend on a game. And when you have that kind of budget, I've seen this myself. Studios and managers are very careless how they spend the money. So that causes another effect of, you know, fa- another chance for failure because they're not careful how they are spending the money. The money is easy; it comes, right? If I
Yeah,
have them,
yeah.
no problem. There's another million. Let's do this. No problem. There's 10 more, 10 more, 20 million coming. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You know. And at the same time, in US, they outsource a lot of the work to other countries. Outsource is good, but I think it's overused right now, which is
Mm.
causing jobs to disappear in US. Less employment in the US, less talent in the US. If you don't use the talents that are already here in place and they are passionate about their work, you can't expect, you're going to lose because you can't expect an outsourced company to put the same effort, same heart into your project when they when they pay an artist $500 a month. That artist is a slave at that point. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
actually inviting a slavery. You're actually encouraging a slavery by sending these projects, a lot of outsourced to countries that are poor, and there are like cheap companies, and nobody's actually checking this. They're like, it's fine, but it's not. It's actually hurting the
Hmm.
industry here. You know what I mean? What happens is there's a lot of factors in that, right? I mean, one is you don't get to hire talents in the US, people who are actually very good at what they do. You no longer, the money is leaving the country. That's another thing. You're sending money out of the country.
Yeah.
You're actually, the person who is working at that outsource company could be in a terrible condition, and you're just closing your eyes. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's not my problem. It's their problem. That's not good. And then you're encouraging cheap work. So when you encourage cheap work, what happens? People lose their interest to become a character artist, to become an environment artist, to become someone to contribute, right, in this industry in the US. Make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah, of course.
So if there's no incentive for me, why would I work in the game industry at all? Like, if I'm not getting paid well, if I don't get to do amazing projects, if I don't get to say if I don't get to help solve problems and stuff, if I don't get to contribute, and if I'm saying anything, you're like, hey, just do your job, or oh, you're too expensive, you're fired or laid off, whatever. That's not the way to go. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and they spend so much money on getting the wrong person at the wrong position, working on the wrong idea because it's politically correct. Um, they want to be part of that. I think games should be about fun. You shouldn't get involved in any politics. It doesn't matter. Like, you make games to give fun to everybody, left, right, whatever their gender is. Does None of that matters, right?
Yeah, of
and
course, of
and you
course.
should give people options. Now we can give them options. Somebody wants to play with a female character, somebody wants to play with the male character. Maybe you can have those options, right? I mean, Elden
Hmm.
Ring did that. Nobody had said anything about it. Everybody loved it, right?
Of course. Because the
Like,
game
some
itself
people
is
don't.
amazing.
For me, I don't care. Like, whatever the character is, I play, because if it's a good game, it's a good game. Some people are selective. They're like, oh, I'm a male. I want to play with a male character, not a female. Or I'm a female. I want to relate to that female character in the game. I want to be the female main character, main hero of the game, protagonist, right? So yeah, those kind of things. And I think industry made a lot of mistake. I'm not an expert. I just feel this is what it is, right? I mean,
Hmm.
people can take it or ignore it. Everybody has a different opinion. Um, I think what I'm seeing now, a lot of pandemic projects should come out and fail. I mean, some of them are not out yet. So when
Mm.
those fail, and when new GPUs come, I honestly, I don't know if, I think PS5 didn't perform well. I don't know. It feels that way. I mean,
Mm.
PS4 was much better in my opinion, or maybe I'm
Hmm.
getting old, but that's how I felt,
Hmm.
right? I mean, I still want to play Elden Ring. I played Elden Ring on this console generation, and it was amazing, right? Or when
Hmm.
GTA comes out, maybe I'll play that. Witcher comes out, I'll play that. But there aren't many opportunities to play good games. So some people say it's not correct. I'm wrong, but it's my opinion, right? There was a time that
Yeah, of
I
course.
enjoyed a lot of games, but I don't have that feeling anymore. Why is
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
right? I still like games, but I don't get to play what I want to play. So I
Hmm.
think once those pandemic projects come out and they fail, there's gonna be a washout again, like a more downside, and we'll see how it goes. And the economy is a bit shaky right now. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Nvidia gave me some hope after I watched the videos of their CES 2025.
Yeah, I just recalled the Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, Skull and Bones, they all failed in 2024. So is it a downfall of AAA part of industry, like switching to mobile games, something more simpler and cheaper?
I mean, people want quick satisfaction, right? That's one factor, like I said. And mobile games. You can I play mobile puzzle game, which is funny. I never liked those games, but I'm like, this is actually quick fun, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
I think I still feel like there is a chance to make good games again, like they used to make games in the past. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of like just ignore all the microtransaction. Don't do that. Don't make everything about being live. Make a game with a story, with a an interesting story to let the player have fun with just the story, with the gameplay. Let the player like yeah, Max Payne was one of the games that I played, and I still feel like if I played, I will enjoy. This is from year 2000, 2001. That's very old.
Mm-hmm.
They're making another one, I think. Mafia was one of them in the past. GTA,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would enjoy playing GTA. Every time GTA comes out, I play it. Why? Because they're making something that's fun to play. We'll see
Mm-hmm.
how is the next one. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Also excited.
Um, yeah, I mean it's hard to say the downfall. I kind of feel like there's more downside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but nobody can say if this is the end or not. It
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
the end. Nothing lasts forever. So it might actually give its place to something else. That's possible. Maybe AI will grow so much that you can just say, "Hey I want a game like this." AI makes the game, you play it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for game studios anymore at that point, right? Because AI is doing it for you,
Yeah.
right? Once we get to that point. Um it's definitely not the same as before. Like in the past, I had a lot of offers. Like in 2022, I had maybe every month I had like 3, 4 emails for jobs. 2023 was like 10 emails for the whole year. 2024, I had like 3 opportunities to work for 3 different studios as a lead and principal artist, but then all 3 of them they canceled the hiring because of all these issues with the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
can you can imagine where this is going.
Yeah, to prove your words, I had another guest. He's an art director from the Eastern Hemisphere, let's say.
Hmm.
And he told me that big companies like the biggest game dev companies have compromised themselves because there's no place for creativity. It's more about politics, sucking money out of players, blaming players if games fail. So the future belongs to small independent studios.
I think that's true in some ways because the small indie games have to focus on the fun factor rather than make a big game. I think you
Hmm.
can still make a big game with a lot of fun. Because imagine, dude, like if you spend $300 million on a game and it fails, like you shouldn't touch games at all.
This
Like
is true, yeah.
you shouldn't think about making games anymore ever. That studio should be shut down. Never touch anything in the 3D software or coding. Just go move on and do something else. It's like building a skyscraper with $300 million and then it crashes
Yeah,
when
yeah,
tenants move in.
yeah.
So
Makes
I
sense.
mean, I mean, it's definitely not the AAA industry issue. It's the person who is controlling the thing, or people, or a group of people who are controlling that process. Make sense?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Like if your focus is on like, oh, this button on the character is broken, we need to fix that, and then you give feedback on that 50 times, move it from here to here to here, down, up, and this takes like 6 months, then you shouldn't have a game studio. Nobody cares about this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like every game, if you open the characters, I'll show you many issues on the characters. But if the game is fun, nobody even sees those, right? So I mean, 300 million dollars is not a joke, man. That's a lot of money. You should be able to
That's
make
true.
4 games, 4 AAA games with that if you just do it right. If you focus on the fun factor rather than, uh, you know, the problem is sometimes they put people get into position. They're insecure. I work with a guy. He never did any 3D softwares. He never did anything. And he was the director of the game. He didn't even play games. He didn't touch any 3D softwares. He never did any coding. He never draw anything. And he became a director because his friend was in a radio show or whatever, and hired him in a game studio as like an assistant, whatever. And he grew, and he became a director. Come on, like you can't just become a director like that. You need some sort of knowledge, right? It's you need to understand camera movement. You need to understand story. You need to understand so many things. Like it's just stupid to me. Or one of the things I hear people, some studios say, if you're a lead character artist, you don't have to be the best artist. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. How can you lead a team if you don't understand the craft?
Makes
I
sense.
mean, this is very common in the game industry. I'm like, why?
Hmm.
Like, why would you put a lead animator as the head of character art team? That's the art director job, or you have to have an art director for character side. Or why would your character art director, who never touched 3D and just did 2D art, is a 3D character art director? That's how games fail.
Yeah,
If you don't understand the craft, you shouldn't be part of that. You should not be a manager in that process. You should not even touch the software. Like you shouldn't even be in the studio at all. And I can tell you, dude, every studio makes this mistake. It's just, I'm like, how can you not see this? Like it's just stupid,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Of course, like there is no common sense, right? Or maybe there is, but their common sense is a little distorted.
No,
Yeah.
it's a lot of favoritism, a lot of, yeah, that too, distorted common sense. Or whoever is at the top sees the performance of this person at a certain job, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing very good. We want to promote you to this position. Now you're a character art director." But this guy never touched ZBrush ever in his life,
Hmm.
right? Just because he did
Yeah,
performance, something else, they need to fill that position, so they just put him there. Dude, I'm
yeah,
telling you, I have seen many examples. A senior in my team who was managing the team wasn't able to make a character at all, and this
that's
person was
crazy.
managing the team. They hired another team. They hired a lead character artist, and in his portfolio, he never had any ZBrush example of sculpting or any art at all. Zero. Another time,
Crazy.
someone became a lead in a team, and he didn't understand anatomy. He didn't understand character design, creature design, nothing, and he became a lead in the like. Come on, you shouldn't do that. All of these projects failed, by the way.
Of course, yeah. Talking about AI, I'm a little optimistic because I think the day AI learns how to do proper retopology, all the occupations are in danger because like 3D is quite complicated, I think. Like accountants may disappear as well, etc. So what do you think? I'm a little
I'm not an
optimistic
AI
about AI.
expert, but
Yeah.
whatever I say is going to be wrong, honestly. Um, but here's the thing: if it improves lives, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if AI
Yeah.
improves my life, I'm happy about it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't stop technology growth, right? The only thing that can stop that might be World War III. But you
Yeah.
cannot say I don't like AI because I'm an artist. What can you
Of
do
course.
about it? It is what it is. Technology
Mm-hmm.
comes and changes everything, right?
Yeah.
So I see a future where there's really no art jobs or coding, not too far, like maybe 15 years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I see a future where you just use AI to make games and movies and shorts. People are already making VFX with AI, like some of those crazy stuff they're coming out. It's not perfect, but it's getting better and better every 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now with Nvidia, so I mean, you have to follow the trend, right? Um, there's a complaint about AI is using, uh, the copyrighted stuff and whatnot. I'm not an expert, but from what I understand, it's not the same thing anymore. It's growing into more. it's like I feel like it's more at this point. I might be wrong. People are gonna get upset in the comments or whatever. Say, but this is my opinion, and I'm gonna change it if I see an evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So imagine if you're a character artist, you look at some references and then you make your concept and your character, right? You're getting that data from somewhere. You're not
Mm-hmm.
just, oh, I'm gonna imagine this, and sometimes you do
Yeah.
that, but you need some input over time, either from nature or somebody else's work, or read a book and something comes to your mind, or see a shape and you're like, your brain is making there is some sort of reference. Our brain is empty. We just gather input from the environment around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think AI is doing the same thing now, gathering references, information, and creating a unique thing. And there was a time, like a couple of years ago, was copying somebody else's art exactly. But now, even now, if you say, "Hey, make a Picasso style art for me," it's gonna do that. It's the style, right? It's not like copying. Might do that too. I don't know, but from what I've seen, on the concept side, is doing something like that. Eventually, I think 15 years. I could be wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. Do you wanted to say something? I guess.
No, no. Do you have plan B if something goes wrong? Like, uh, no,
Um,
no need in 3D artists. For example, I have a land. Maybe I'll become a farmer. For me,
I
that's my plan.
I mean, depends, right? I mean, right now I'm focused on my fitness and health
Mm-hmm.
mostly. I might actually start new classes this year again, some new mentorship classes. One thing I would say is, when people are worried about this whole AI thing, they will not do the job or come to this industry or whatever. Nothing is safe right now. So any industry you go to, it,
Mm-hmm.
it can fail, because once Elon Musk comes with these new robots, once they can move exactly like humans, or Boston Dynamics, they come with some new robots and then they integrate AI. Once that AI is like sentient and they can understand and follow your orders, they can do coding, they can mow your lawn, they can move stuff, wash your dishes, you know, right?
Yeah.
Teach you how to do stock trading and whatnot. So nothing is really safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta. The way I think about it is this: there is a transition period which is going to be hard, right? Um, that I don't think anybody should wait for that transition period. I just say that to my students too. Um, you should probably. This is hard to say, man. Like, I'm not an expert. It's not like something I
Mm-hmm.
can say. But right now, I'm trying to do some other things to make money, different than CG. Um, but I'm about to start a new mentorship as well. I want to make new characters and stuff. Maybe I'll make more YouTube videos again. See how it goes, because it's fun. Doing
Mm-hmm.
videos
Yeah,
is
yeah.
different. Um, yeah, that I don't know what to do myself. Like, in a way, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know
Yeah.
what's safe, because I have multiple options in my head, but I'm like, what if I do this and AI comes in? What if I do that and this? There was a time 15 years ago, I was like, this is the industry I should go in and it's gonna save me and help me and all that, and I was right about it. All of that happened, but now I'm at a point that I'm like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Some part of it is AI, some part of it is the issues with the economy, Russia Ukraine war, which can turn into a bigger mess, the Middle East situation, China. There's a lot going on. Today,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Trudeau resigned, Prime Minister of Canada,
Kind
right? US wants to buy Greenland. So there is so much
yeah,
happening that's like, I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
maybe I should just buy a bunker or something and gather food and
Yeah.
do something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully everything's gonna be all right. It's just ups and
Well, what's all
downs.
right? We don't know what is all right, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time I didn't have anything, everything was all right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
life changes. Now I have everything I want, but I don't know if it's all right or not, because the future is unknown. And
That's
maybe,
true.
the thing is, humans adapt. So whatever happens, it happens. What can you do about it?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything about it.
That's true. Yeah, thank you. That's really cool. And also wanted to ask you, what skills beside technical ones are important for a 3D artist these days?
And the most important skill is communication, and another one is could be a skill, maybe it's not a skill, but emotional intelligence,
Mm,
right? That's why I
sounds
said
cool.
read this book
Yeah,
again.
I will. I will.
Everybody should read this book.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, communication is key. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, I made
So,
many mistakes myself when it comes to communication.
talking about soft skills and communication, what would be your main advice? To try to learn how to listen to people, or
Just listen. Get more information. Say less.
uh-huh.
Right? Just say
Sounds
less.
cool. Yeah. It's like we say the silence is gold. I forgot the saying, something like
Yeah,
this.
and you don't have to always answer quickly, right? If your manager says something, you can say,
Hmm.
"Okay, thanks for informing me. Informing me. I'm gonna think about it. I'll let you know. Let's talk
Hmm.
about it tomorrow or 2 days from now." You
Okay,
don't have to
sounds
say
cool.
yes to everything quickly,
All right.
and
So,
trust yourself, right? Like, don't always depend on others. Um, I mean, if you just have the guts to try something, that's all you need. You don't have to always go around and get advice from people to tell you what to do because they haven't figured out their own shit. They can't teach you how to live. You know,
of course. Yeah, yeah.
nobody figured it out, dude. Like everybody's just like acting as if they did, but everybody's um rolling in their own shit,
It's
trying to
true, yeah.
figure out what the fuck is going on. Sorry for the language.
No, 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 not a problem. It's true, yeah. Also wanted to ask you, what is the place of sport in your life? I've seen your training with Rafael
Yeah.
Grassetti. So you live in one city, right?
No, no. Raf is in LA. I'm in Washington.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's different. I went there for Lightbox, and for mainly I went there to work out with him. Honestly, we go to the gym. We were talking about it. I was like, okay, I'll
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, oh, there's Lightbox. I'm like, okay, I'll come there. That's another reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed to do more. I want to do it again. Honestly, that was so much fun. I don't have gym buddies here, so
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I want to push. Like you asked about what do I want to do? Might be that I don't know. Uh, One thing people should understand is you never know what's your thing. You never know what is your thing. It just happens,
Mm-hmm.
right? I like if I go back in time, I might not actually become a 3D artist. I might get into sports, bodybuilding, football. That's what I wanted to do always,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then there were um, other things in life. Like I wanted to move out of Iran, go to a different country, and make a better life. And that's when I realized if I do this, I enjoy it. I sculpt the stuff; it's fun. I get the benefit of moving and working with multiple companies because I got paid a couple of times for freelance, and I was like, actually, something. It just rolled me right. I just kept going. And more jobs coming. Oh, I'm getting better. Oh, another freelance. Okay, this guy's giving me a cinematic job. I got a job offer from this company. I'm moving. So it kept happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now it's not happening. I didn't get exactly what I wanted. Uh, Past couple of years, I worked for a couple of studios that were not doing a good job, in my opinion, and I didn't even share it in my resume. Um, so I mean, I spoke to a company actually recently. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, uh, but yeah, it happens. So now I'm doing a sports. You talked about that. Working out is. I actually had a realization. It's everything. As human beings, we are meant to stay active and right. Now that I have a kid, my daughter is like 2.5 years old almost. I just want to be someone who can protect her in any situation, even if it's war. You know,
Mhm.
I don't want to be the weak guy who is following the military to get support. If something happens, I want to be able to defend. Like
Mhm.
people might just say, "Oh, that's bullshit," but you never know, dude. I'm coming
Of
from
course.
Iran. War happened, and I've seen war when I was 4 years old. So, or with Russia and
Mhm.
Ukraine right now, if you ask Ukrainians, they were fine, and the next day they were not fine.
Of course.
It just
Yeah.
happened quickly. So, whatever the reason, I don't care who is responsible or not, but it's just the nature of the war, right? So there's that, but also health. That's the main factor, health benefit of it. I want to get younger and stronger, and I enjoy it. I want to build the body that I always wanted. Maybe it will get
Yeah, I
somewhere.
see your
Maybe
muscles. You're shredded.
not yet.
No, that's cool. No, no, no. I see.
I can do this.
Amazing.
Move my chest.
That's
But
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a long time to go. I
of
mean,
course.
it takes. I started. I mean, I did it before for a couple of years when I was young, 18, 20. Now I'm older. It's harder, but it's possible. I'm growing actually faster than usual,
Hmm.
and I'm getting younger. So I mean, my biological age is 29 right now, 10 years younger than my actual age.
That is cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm also not not too young. I'm almost 35 and also
Mhm.
do sports. And I tried the gym, but what I left it because I don't have self-discipline. I do something and then I just walk for 5 minutes. And then I have chosen boxing and it just fits
I do
me.
boxing too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool, right? Because I like that army vibe when the trainer is shouting at you and you have no place for bad thoughts in your mind.
But you got to
You
keep in
just
mind, dude. Muscle is the one factor for longevity.
mm,
So if you have muscle and if you have a strength, you're gonna live longer. You know. And to build
yeah, yeah.
muscle, you need discipline. You need to eat good food. Good food doesn't mean expensive. It means you don't eat trash, all the packaged food and sausages and crap and ice cream. I'm guilty of
Hmm.
eating a lot of ice cream, but when I stopped it actually this week because I'm in a different diet now. I have to eat a lot of protein. I work out every day for 2 hours, 3 hours, and maybe I'm going to increase the amount of workout because if I want to achieve my goal, I'm already 39. Um, Studies show, actually, a friend of mine was sharing this with me, and then I searched about it, that if you work out, some people say, oh, you just need to work out 1 hour every other day. I mean, you can't become a character artist doing character art for 1 hour every other day, right? Workout is the same. You have to push yourself to the maximum limit. That's what I do right now.
Hmm.
So I work out 2 3 hours a day, and the maximum set they found that it has benefits is if you do 43 sets of workouts, like let's say if you do chest 43 sets, if you do legs 43 sets per week, and to the failure. So now when I go to the gym, let's say when I'm doing bench press, I do like I have two different ways. One is like I put heavy and put like do 3 4 reps, 5 sets, and then another one is I put it like underloaded, make it less weight, and I go like 20 reps or 15 reps. That helps you to build muscle, and then when you do heavy, it helps you to get it stronger, right? So you want to build
Hmm.
volume and strength. And basically I'm trying to do as many sets as I can. I think this week so far I did 25 sets of each workout, like back, legs, chest. When I
That's
go to
cool.
the gym, if I do legs, if I do the quads, and I'm tired of that, then I'm like, okay, my arms feel good. I'm gonna just do some arms,
Hmm.
some biceps, some triceps, and I push it until I feel like, oh, it's painful now. I cannot do it anymore.
Hmm.
The thing about workout is everybody's gonna regret not doing it. I guarantee you, everybody when they get old.
Hmm.
People don't understand, especially in the character art community. I didn't understand it. There's so much stress in our job, dude. Like it's very stressful. The toxicity, the deadlines, the amount of work. You have to learn new softwares every day. I'm exaggerating when I say every day, but I mean, every time you change your job, you have to learn new workflows, new engines, new managers. It's not fun, in that sense. You want to create, but there's a lot of side effects that actually destroy your health in
Mm.
many ways. Just sitting in front of the computer all the time, um, those are not good, right? The only way you can actually fix that, all the mental issues, I have seen in the industry, like people go to therapists or psychologists. I recommended that. And you see, when I said in the beginning of the video, I said a personal trainer and a psychologist, right? Personal trainer is more important than a psychologist. Psychologist mainly for helping people to communicate with someone who they can trust. So these psychologists can maybe like transfer the data to the studio manager, say, hey, the people in your studio suffer from this. If you don't change this, you're going to suffer and lose everything or whatever. If you change this, you're going to improve your income, improve your revenue, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I I'm telling you, like when I work out, it changes everything. It's the main factor for me to release an energy, get confidence, become happier. And money doesn't do that. Money does it in some ways, but being a manager doesn't do that. It's not the same thing. When you work out at the gym, everybody is going through the same process. Everybody has to lift the same weight. You can't go to the gym and suddenly bench press 200 kilograms, right? Your ego is getting crushed. You know what I mean? You sit next to someone who is smaller than you, the guy's benching 150 uh, kilograms or whatever, like 260 pounds, and you can only do 225. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like if you really want to build it, you have to go through the same. You have to do it. It's painful and it takes time, and it teaches you that you have to have discipline. You have to be patient. You have to build it, and you cannot see the change. You go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
today, nothing happens. You go to the gym tomorrow, nothing happens. You go to the gym next day, you drop weights on your on your leg, it becomes more painful. You go to the gym the day after, nothing happens. You come home, you get muscle sore, your ego gets crushed. You go to the gym for 1 month, you still have belly fats. You go to the gym for 2 months, I'm stronger now, but I don't see anything different, right? Then 3 months passes, you see some change. 6 months passes, you see more change. Then if you take photos after a year, you're not the same person. That's when you just start doing stuff. And honestly, some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't do more sets. You should do this." I mean, friends were telling me you're gonna hurt yourself. I'm not only not hurting myself, I'm actually pushing myself to the limits that I couldn't even imagine it's possible. You know what I mean? I started benching
Mm-hmm.
250 pounds after 8 months of workout. I started deadlifting 300 pounds after 8 months of workout. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
Very
and if
impressive.
you tell people, "Oh, you're gonna hurt yourself, dude," don't do it. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, there is something to think about. Yeah, we're getting closer to the end. I have some couple of questions. So, easy questions. Who is your favorite video game character and why?
There are two or three, maybe.
Okay, okay.
Witcher, one of them,
Witcher.
and then Max Payne.
He's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So, why
Why?
have
It's
you?
just
Mhm.
I like that setting. There's no exact reason. I mean, Max Payne was interesting because at the time it was a unique game when it came out in year 2000, 2001, whatever it was,
Mhm.
2001, I think, and it was very unique. So I liked it. Witcher, Geralt is my favorite because of his character, because of the setting of the game, because
Mhm.
of the missions he went through, his background, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a
He's
perfect
very
character for me.
stoic. Like
Oh
he's a
yes, yes,
man.
oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
Yeah, I also like him.
yeah.
Top 5 favorite games.
Witcher, Elden Ring, Mafia 1, Max Payne. This is 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of games. If I don't remember them, then they're just
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
whatever. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
GTA and maybe some uh this Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't finish it, but it was interesting,
Mm-hmm.
because of the character. That guy also is a nice character, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of artists are doing like live feedback sessions, portfolio reviews. Haven't you thought about it? Or you have
Like,
no time for it?
I want to do it actually again on my YouTube channel. I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about it. Like I said, I'm mostly focused on my health right now. I want to just the achievement I'm getting from workout is something that I enjoy a lot. I want to keep doing that. But then
Mm-hmm.
um, we are actually working on a plan with a friend of mine. Nobody knows this, but I'm going to announce it, that we want to do a workshop together for 6 weeks or something. Creature design, two people actually, creature design,
Mm-hmm.
character work, and stuff like that. This is going to be very interesting. Um, yeah, that one is one thing we want to do. We might do a live feedback session as well, just to help. The workshop
Mm-hmm.
is not free, obviously. I mean, if
Yeah.
I could grow my YouTube in a way, the problem is YouTube has turned into this place where it's more about entertainment, you know. Um, and the algorithm invites that, like it's giving it to people when it's more entertaining, more fun, rather than a real educational, right? I mean, I don't have to sit there and make a video about feedback and make it nice and pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People
Yeah,
who
yeah.
enjoy it should be able to see it. But then you see all these videos, somebody's making a donut getting like 3 million views, and it doesn't do anything for anybody. There's no artistic value in there. Maybe there is some, but not exactly for our industry, or VFX or anything like that. But if YouTube algorithm worked in a way to promote more educational content, more beneficial content, that would be better.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I want to do stuff, but when only like 1,000 people see it,
Yeah.
there's no point.
Mm-hmm.
But we're actually going to do it. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually thinking to start making videos again, but I need to figure out what to do. Because I'm
Yeah.
also that's another thing. Like I'm working out and I want to do this. I want to keep teaching. There's another thing I want to do. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
It's different than the game industry. That also requires real dedication. So I have to wake up tomorrow morning, actually watch a couple of videos. Each one is like a couple of hours. Do some practice. It has nothing to do with our industry. It's more on the
Mm-hmm.
financial market.
Okay, I see, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah. And talking about YouTube, you just mentioned it. I'm just a beginner, let's say. I just opened my channel. What tips could you give me to grow my channel?
I don't know, man. That's hard. I couldn't grow my channel myself.
But you have
Yeah,
around 13, even though it's like
yeah,
you don't.
13,000. It's not. Well, I mean, 13,000 people is a lot of people, but I guarantee you,
Mm-hmm.
half of them are not even watching the channel anymore. Because the time passed, their life changes.
Mm-hmm.
They moved on already, or they're in a different industry already. Um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like honestly, YouTube, I feel like it's entertainment is the key on YouTube. If it's entertaining, it sells. If it's not entertaining, they're not going to promote it because it has to be
Mm-hmm.
ad friendly, right? They want to put advertising on it to make money. If your video is not promoting that, you know, look
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
Mr. Beast grow. Like Mr. Beast has like 342 million subscribers right now, and each of his videos gets like 300, 400 million. He probably made like just $340 million just from YouTube videos. Obviously, the way he is spending on his videos, but imagine that, and then all the other ways they could make money from that. They made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. I haven't figured it out myself. There was a time I wanted to make a YouTube channel about motorcycles, but then it's hard because I don't want to rent motorcycles. I have two motorcycles myself. One is for dirt, one is for street. Then I was like, I only have two. I need to have more. And the motorcycles that I want are expensive, like 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000. Right. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I don't have anything to say here because I'm still new at it. But there are channels that did cars. The guy did cars for 9 years, and now he's a multimillionaire. He drives Bugattis, Bentleys, Mercedes G wagons, and cars like that. But then that is also another type of dedication similar to character art. It takes so much time to get there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like YouTube is not easy. You have to put the time. You have to practice. You have to do stuff, right? And within our industry, um, if you don't sell anything, it wouldn't really work that much, unless if you make the content really fun, like entertaining. There was a guy, I think ZHC was his channel. He was making concepts, drawings, and those kind of videos get views. But then his channel turned into more type of entertainment. And now he has like millions of followers, and he makes so much money from that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, YouTube is something I haven't really figured it out myself. I mean, I could try to do stuff, but I don't know. Like I don't know if our industry is a good space for YouTube. There are only like 260,000 employees in the industry, right? And maybe there are only like a million people who are interested.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like 8 billion people in the world, right? And I guess one third of it, 1 billion people have internet. I don't know, like a big number
Mm-hmm.
already have internet access.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, um, I think a car channel has more chance to grow than a CG channel, honestly.
It's true. Yeah. I also had a guest. She's a Russian CG YouTuber, but she's also creating entertaining videos. And she told me that it is impossible to grow a channel only with CG lovers because
Yes, no, it doesn't
not
work.
enough people. Yeah.
Unless if
So,
you teach something. Yeah, like
mm-hmm.
if I want to grow my channel, I have to teach to make money, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, there is a channel the guy does Blender. Blender might be something that will do it, but I don't want to touch Blender. I don't like that software at all. It's not my thing. It's just doesn't make sense. There's another
Mm-hmm.
way to make money, and I can make money. It's not easy. That's what I'm working on. It's very risky, but you don't have to like work 9 hours on a video and the video fails, or work on a character and you apply for jobs and nobody wants to hire you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of
Not to say
course.
it's the case. I mean, but what I'm saying is like it's a different type of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a video I was seeing from a guy. He was saying keep your passion as your passion and do what makes you money. Get that financial freedom. Like just push yourself, get out of that situation so you don't have to worry about money, then focus on your passion. I think you
Mm-hmm.
can do both at the same time. Um, like with the things that I learned in the past, I want to say this as well. If I go back in time, I will change the way I use money and spend money. Because if I did, I wouldn't have to think about money anymore. Like with the things that I know now,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I would just be able, hey, I don't want to make money anymore. I just want to make a YouTube video about whatever I want.
Yeah.
I also had an idea to make YouTube videos about firearms, like guns. I love guns.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun. Go shoot them, talk about them. I have a collection
Mm-hmm.
myself, but
Yeah.
that's also something like requires a lot of time and effort and space to go shoot and video, and uh, it's dangerous in some ways, and you need
Mm-hmm.
the body, somebody to be. It's kind of complicated with YouTube, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you also talking about investing money, right? You would
yeah,
invest
yeah.
money,
I would
of course.
I would invest in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I was right about a few of my calls about Tesla, Nvidia, real estate market in the US, but I just timed it the wrong way. I didn't get the benefit that I wanted to. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but well, it's if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Of course. Yeah.
You know,
The last two questions. The first one is, what is happiness to you, and do you consider yourself a happy person?
happiness. Happiness comes from inside you. Yeah, happiness is not anything that you get from outside. Happiness is the time you spend with your family, with your kid, with your mom, with your dad, with your sister, brother, with your friends. Happiness is the time that you're in right now and you don't value it. And then when that time goes on, you come back to this memory and you're like, I wish I appreciated those moments again. Happiness is the health that you already have, which you may not have. Everybody, when I say you, I don't mean you, which you may not have, or who knows if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nobody knows, dude. Like anybody at any moment can just get a blood clot and heart attack. Done. Over.
Yeah.
Just like
Just
that.
just a week ago, I just woke up because the drones attacked the building, neighbor
See,
building.
that's what I'm talking about. What if it hit your
Yeah.
building? You would be gone.
Yeah. I was
That's it.
surprised.
So, happiness, I can tell you, it's not BMW because I have one and I don't care about it anymore. Happiness is not about what brand of cloth you wear. I mean, there was a point I made so much money and I spent money on expensive shoes, expensive clothing. Now I just wear the simplest thing I can. It doesn't matter, you know? Or like if you see my office, I have probably $40,000, $50,000 of stuff here. My camera that I'm using now is like 10 grand, you know? And it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm nobody, like there are people who are spending money on yachts and G Wagons and Ferraris and stuff. Like I got to a
Mm-hmm.
point, I think, I guess maybe I'm lucky on that. I don't work to get a G Wagon. You know what I mean? That's not a dream for me.
Mm-hmm.
One at some point it was having a Lamborghini Aventador was my dream. I have my dream bike already. Like I showed you in the picture. I'll show it here quickly because I want to say
Mm-hmm.
something about that.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Um, that bike is expensive, but I'll tell you why I'm saying it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There is another model from this bike. It's $77,000. Just came out. Um, it does the same thing. Sounds the same. If you change the exhaust, it sounds different. Yes, but this one is 800 cc or 890, something like that. That one is 1,000 cc. There's another bike is like 1,100 BMW S1000 R or M1000 RR or whatever. They all do the same thing. You have to follow the speed limit unless if you go to a track, right, to ride your
Mm-hmm.
bike. I mean, money gives you happiness if you use it correctly. The happiness comes from within and also comes from abundance. What is abundance? You don't force yourself to work for the job that you don't want just because you want to buy a BMW. Does it make sense? Like
Yeah.
you put yourself under so much stress and pressure, and you're not happy. Happiness is in the moment. When I go to the gym and I work out, I'm happy in that moment. That's the happiness. There's
Mm-hmm.
no reason for me to actually think about. I do that a lot. I actually think about all of these, but I shouldn't think about 10 years from now or 6 years from now to have a Lamborghini Aventador or a bigger house. Like I'm actually thinking maybe I should sell my house and make it a smaller. Why do I need a house this big? It just doesn't make sense to me because I'm not using it. Like one of the
Mm-hmm.
rooms, the door is closed for the past
Mm-hmm.
4 years. Sometimes I open it and I just close it. Um,
Yeah.
and it does, like happiness is like when I went to work out with laugh and saw friends and people, that's happiness, you know? Or the moment that we have now, that's happiness. When I wake up every morning, my child is there and saying, "Daddy, look, Daddy." That's happiness, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you
Yeah.
want to be free, right? You want to have money to not work for anybody or have your own business, but there is a way to be happy with less money. There's actually studies that shows once you get past $260,000, it doesn't add to your happiness,
Mm-hmm.
and almost everybody wastes their money after that point. And I did it myself. You waste the money after that point. You just spend it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because at that point, buying a $30,000 bike, it's easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you make 400, $500,000 a year, it's easy to spend 30K or 80K on a car. But then the car doesn't do more for you
Mm-hmm.
than a $30,000 car.
Yeah.
The fun is temporary. Like you just get the fun for. Sometimes you get more fun. Like when I drive my BMW, it's actually fun because it's so fast, and on the corners, it's fun to do that. But that's a different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I like driving cars. I could drive a Toyota, I don't know, Supra and have the same fun. Or Supra is expensive, or something cheaper. Like a 10-year-old Porsche, right? Like a 718 Cayman, which is much cheaper now. The old one, older,
Mm-hmm.
not super old ones that are expensive, but something secondhand that gives me the same feeling. You know what I mean? Like with 30,000 dollar car, you might get the same feeling. Whatever. It gets normal basically at some point. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I figured happiness comes from other things. Freedom. That's one of the most important thing. Freedom, having real freedom. Or doing the things that you enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes doing stuff that are not boring, like if you're in a situation where you have to figure out what you need to do next and you're constantly battling, against all the odds, and you win, that's happiness. When I left Iran, I had only $800 in my pocket, but I was happy because I left. That small achievement was big. you know Make sense?
Yeah. And I remember one of your most powerful videos on your channel. You talk about getting sick with COVID and thought you were going to die. And at
Yes.
that moment, you weren't thinking about 3D, but you were thinking about your family. This
Yes.
is really powerful.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. And the last one, final advice to me and my followers. Since I am looking for a job now, my followers are, most of them are just starting their journey in the industry. What would be your final advice?
Don't look for a job. Why do you need a job? What's the point of having a job?
I think at this point it's more about making money for a living.
So, do you want to, like, what if you don't make money from 3D to make a living? You're
I'll
gonna
find
stay
something
hungry.
else.
So here's the thing. Our job has some benefits and have comes with some really negative stuff. It's both sides, right? The positive is you can work from home with your softwares. You don't have to buy clay or this and that, and you buy a computer and that's it. But then that computer can crash. The softwares you have to keep updating. You have to keep updating your knowledge. New artists come in and they're suddenly better than you, so you have to fight to get the job again. um, the pay doesn't go up. Somebody in India works with like 1/10 of the price that you work, and they get the job. There's a lot of factors, right? Um, I think whoever comes to this industry should ignore all the noise. I, I, originally I was not looking for a job. It just happened. Like I said, I started doing 3D because I was having fun with it, like a child playing with toys, right? And then I posted on CG Society at the time. I got one job for $100. I'm like, oh, somebody's paying me $100 from random place. I don't know where from. I did, and I kept going. Another job, $300. Another one, five. Suddenly someone from a European country gave me a job for months, and I was getting paid every month. I'm like, I'm making money with this, so I'm doing stuff that I like, and I'm making money. It just happened. I wasn't like, oh, there's game industry. Okay, let me make characters to get a job in the game industry. I want to get a job in it. That wasn't my way of doing stuff, you know. And I'm not doing, for example, going to the gym now. I'm not doing it to make money. There is another reason, but there is
Mm-hmm.
a chance I might make money from it if I become a professional. I might become a trainer. I might become an, go to competitions. Maybe I'll get a lot of following on social media because I started at 38 and I'm 39, or maybe at 45 I will be, you know, massive with shredded without using a steroid. And everybody's like, "Oh, how did you do it?" I give them plans and make money. Who knows? I don't know. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll make my own brand of sports equipment at the time. Who knows? The future is unknown, right? It's just you have to do what's good for you, right? Um, so what was the question mainly? How do you
Yeah.
the advice, right?
Final advice for beginners.
Yeah, like I said, there was a guy, I forgot his name. I wish I remembered it. He gives the best advice about making money. He says, keep your passion as your passion, keep doing it. Whatever it is, have fun with it. And figure out a way to make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, as fast as you can to get the money abundance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're free, you can spend more time on your passion forever. Because look, dude, as a character artist, I'll tell you, only a few times I did something that I enjoyed in a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was many moments I actually didn't like it because it's a job, right? And you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
like the job, but it was better than working at a bank for me. I enjoyed it, right? If I worked at the bank, I wouldn't enjoy it at all. Like I would hate myself every day. But I would enjoy it more if I kept doing my own artwork and my own and freelance work. At some point, I was making a lot of money by freelancing back in 2014. But then because I moved to US, everything I had to reset again. You know, if I kept doing what I did back then, I could have started freelance authors studio in 2014. I would be very rich right now. And I didn't do it
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to move to US because my mind was like, I want to work in a game studio in the US, work on Call of Duty. You know, that was my dream. That was a wrong dream, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying this to say it's bad. You know, I had many good moments, many good memories at every place that I worked at. People would get it wrong, but what I'm saying is, if I get a job opportunity, it depends on the job. I'll work again at a studio because that connection is good. You know, working with people and stuff. There's other factors that you have to consider, right? But what I'm saying is like, don't focus on the job because there might be a better outcome waiting for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you limit yourself to, I want a job, I want to work in a gaming studio, I want to work at Ubisoft, Sony, you know, this and that, you may not get that position. You might just end up at a basic job, make just living to not die, basically, you know, right? Yeah. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, like I said, the luck factor. Now it's different. Now
Mm-hmm.
there's more competition. At my time, there was less competition. So maybe I was lucky at the time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now there's AI. Who knows how it's going to affect everything? So you gotta ignore all the noise and focus. What do you want to do? Like what do you want to do with your life? That's the key factor. You want to become a character artist. Do the best thing you can with the character art. And then you're not making money from it. Okay, how can you make money, get rich quickly? Figure that
Mm-hmm.
out. I'm trying to figure that out now, honestly. For me right now, money is the first thing at this point. Not because
Mm-hmm.
I want to buy a Lamborghini or anything like that. There's another reason, because I want my child to have abundance, and I want to teach her how to use money properly. You know what I mean? And I don't
Yeah.
want to wait for a paycheck to give me that money. Like I said, if I get a job now again, depends on the job, I'll get it. But then I want to figure out a way to make money myself, do something that I can enjoy and make money myself, and have the freedom, the real freedom that I'm looking for, you know. And the thing that I want to do, I don't want to get into like a scamming people. I don't want to I want whatever I want to do. I want it to be ethical. as clean as possible, and to not depend on anybody. Make sense? Like
Mm-hmm.
opening a shop, it's possible. I can open a shop tomorrow, get a franchise. I have the money for it. I can open a franchise, and it's going to take a couple of years. That will give you the plan, and you can start a business. But I'm not going to enjoy that. And there's like a lot of things involved. I want to make money here with the computer,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever is faster. But I also don't want to make money, sit there and make a character for 6 months for a studio and get paid like $50,000, or $80,000, whatever it is, and that's it. That's not the type of income I want. You know, I'll do it, but there's other ways that you can improve and make more money. You know what I mean? And then at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same time, I can still do that job for that studio and have fun with it. Because think about it this way: if I'm not depending on that money, then the political side of the studio wouldn't matter to me anymore. I'll just focus on. I'm not. When you have enough, and if you really enjoy doing characters at that point, let's say you're a multi-millionaire and you're making characters, and like, I just want to work on a game.
Mm-hmm.
Then you work on a game. If your manager says, "Oh, you're doing a bad job," okay, what do I do to make it better? Okay, I'll do it better, because you're not insecure anymore, right? You're not fighting for your life. If you
It's
enjoy it,
true.
you'll improve it.
Yeah.
But if you're fighting for your life, there's constant battle of, uh, like, when you fall into a corn. There are these tankers, massive. I don't know what the name is. They fill it with corn.
Mm-hmm.
If
I
you
get it.
drop in it, if you move too much, you're gonna drown. You're gonna go
Yeah.
down and you're gonna die. you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the same
It's
situation, right?
yeah,
But if you're
yeah.
secure and you enjoy it, you're not worried about the money, right? You just do whatever it takes to make the best thing you can make. You're not
Mm-hmm.
there to please anybody. You're there to do a better job. Make sense?
Yeah. Very, very deep.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you so much.
of
Thank
course.
you. Time is an irreplaceable resource, and the fact that you dedicated this time to me says a lot. Really
Of course,
appreciate
man.
it.
No
Thank you
worries.
so much.
You're welcome.
So, I wish you great health, success in
Thank
all
you.
the upcoming projects, and financial well being. And Happy New Year.
Same to
So,
you
so
and
happy
everybody who's
to
watching this video.
have a great night
Of
and
course.
see you. Goodbye.
See you. Take care. Bye. You know what? I should have brought my motorcycle, put it here as a decor.
Yeah, it would be great. I'm a huge
It's
motorcycle
heavy.
fan as well. But what motorcycle do you have?
I have an MV Augusta.
Oh, sounds cool, but to be
Maybe I should
honest,
bring
I
it in.
don't
It's
know.
heavy to bring it in. It's gonna be a big problem actually, because it's too heavy.
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem.
I
Yeah,
thought it would
that's
be
great.
cool to have something and talk about hobbies as well. But
Yeah,
it's
why
okay.
not?
Next
Why
time.
not? By the way, I was born in a small village surrounded by forests, and I
Cool.
had a motorcycle from my Soviet motorcycle from my grandfather. It's called Minsk. I remember I was
Mm.
herding cows using this
I'll show
motorcycle,
you
so
what I
I'm a
have.
fan as well. Ooh, man, this one is really cool. Much cooler than mine. Wow, amazing.